This is the second episode of the series, The Life of Prophet Muhammad, and it's brought to you. Now let's begin. Narrator. Peace be upon you. Today, we tell the story of the birth and early life of the greatest human being, Prophet Muhammad. The camera pans over a serene sunrise over the desert dunes. As the sun climbs higher, light streams through gaps in the rocks, revealing the Kaaba in all its glory. Narrator. He was born in this very city of Mecca in the year of the elephant, a year remembered for the failed attack on the Kaaba by Abraha, the king of Yemen. We see an artistic scene of the Kaaba surrounded by palm trees and a bustling Mecca, showing the life of the time. Narrator. At that time, Mecca was living in ignorance, idol worship, tribalism, and moral decline. We see illustrations depicting people from different tribes worshipping idols in the many directions of Mecca. Some are drinking and gambling, while others are involved in immoral activities. Narrator. Yet from this time and place, God Almighty chose to send the last and final prophet to the entire humanity. A spotlight appears over the most prestigious house in Mecca, the house of Banu Hashim. Narrator. He came from the noblest lineage of the family of Banu Hashim, the most respected tribe of Quraysh. We see a family tree animation showing the lineage of the Prophet Muhammad from the time of Prophet Ismail to the time of his birth. Narrator. His father Abdullah and his grandfather Abdul Muttalib were leaders of the tribe known for their bravery, generosity, and leadership qualities. We see a proud-looking Abdul Muttalib standing in front of his tribe. Narrator. Before the Prophet's birth, his father Abdullah passed away, and his mother Amina was left to raise him alone. A young woman sits gracefully with a newborn baby wrapped in her arms. Narrator. When the Prophet was 2 years old, his mother traveled to Medina to visit her family. While there, she heard the news of her father's passing and stayed back to mourn. We see Amina sitting beside her son in a garden, consoling him as he cries. Narrator. During her stay, the Prophet became seriously ill. She sought the help of a lady named Thuwayba, who nursed him back to health. We see Amina holding her son, who is lying sick in a cradle. Later, we see Thuwayba bathing and feeding the Prophet as he slowly recovers. Narrator. After some time, Amina returned to Mecca with the Prophet in her arms, unaware that she was carrying the future of humanity. We see a close-up of baby Muhammad sleeping peacefully in his mother's arms. Narrator. For 4 more years, they lived happily until the Prophet turned 6 years old and his mother breathed her last. We see a close-up of the Prophet holding on to his mother as she passes away. Narrator. Devastated by the loss of his parents, his grandfather Abdul Muttalib took him under his care. We see the Prophet sitting next to his grandfather outside the Kaaba, listening to him reciting poetry. Narrator. Abdul Muttalib loved the Prophet with all his heart and raised him to be a good and honest person. We see Abdul Muttalib and the Prophet playing together near some rocks. Narrator. He taught him how to perform the rituals of Hajj and the values of Islam. We see the Prophet with his grandfather during the Hajj, holding on to his shoulder as they walk around the Kaaba. Narrator. He guided him to become an excellent orator, saying, "O Allah, make Muhammad the best of those who speak." We see Abdul Muttalib pointing towards the sky as he makes dua for his grandson. Narrator. Sadly, the Prophet's happiness was short-lived. When he turned 8, his grandfather also passed away. We see the Prophet falling on his knees and embracing his dead grandfather's body. Narrator. Now an orphan, he went to live with his uncle Abu Talib, head of the Banu Hashim clan. We see the Prophet entering his uncle's house with some luggage. Narrator. Abu Talib was kind to his nephew, but he could not offer the Prophet the love and care that his grandfather had. We see the Prophet sitting quietly in a corner of the room, missing his parents and his grandfather. Narrator. Still, the prophet grew up into a fine young man and became renowned for his honesty, trustworthiness, and courage. We see the prophet as a young man herding sheep and taking care of his uncle's business. Narrator. At the age of 20, he joined a trade caravan and traveled to Syria with his uncle's friend, a man called Maksusi. We see a young Muhammad standing next to his uncle, his friend and other traders, preparing to travel. Narrator. During his travels, he established a reputation as an excellent salesman, earning the titles of the honest and the trustworthy among his people. We see the prophet conducting trade in a lively market full of people. Narrator. It was during one of these trading trips that the course of history shifted. He met a man named Seraah, a Christian monk who was well versed in the scriptures of the Jews and Christians. Intrigued by the prophet's character and teachings, Seraah recognized him as the awaited prophet of God. We see the prophet sitting next to the monk as they discuss various topics. Narrator. The monk predicted that the prophet would receive divine revelations that would transform the course of human history. We see the prophet looking towards the sky in deep thought. Narrator. Upon hearing this, the prophet returned to Mecca filled with anticipation for what the future might hold. The camera pans over the desert dunes, now bathed in the golden hues of sunset, ending at a still shot of the Kaaba. Narrator. Thus began the life of a man who would change the world forever. Stay tuned for the next chapter of his incredible journey. We hear a narration from the prophet's biography. Abu Talib's wife. "O Abu Talib, why do you dislike having the best of the people as your nephew?" Abu Talib. "I fear that the people will say he is a prophet and will annoy me because of it." The screen fades to black. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like, comment, and share. Also, subscribe so you never miss an upload. All the 3D animations, illustrations, and artwork in this episode are done by talented artists from around the world. We would like to extend our gratitude to them for bringing the stories of the Prophet's biography to life through their art. Lastly, a big thank you to our supporters, whose names are shown on the screen. Your support helps us to keep producing quality content. May Allah bless you all. Ameen.